Hi YouTube, welcome back to Darkmoon Metals. Now today's video was completely unplanned. I didn't plan on filming anything today, but as luck would have it, I found something that was kind of interesting. I thought it might interest some of you, so I'm putting it on film. As any blacksmith will tell you, having the right pair of tongs to manipulate the material that you're working with is just a tremendous time saver. It actually makes the process a lot more pleasant than trying to control a piece of metal that's moving around all over on you. Now, I want to show you a modification that I did to a pair of tongs that allows me to work with very, very small round stock. Now, this came about because someone had come to the shop and said, I need you to manufacture a couple of these stainless steel hinge pins. And they are really small. It's smaller than what I've used for anything in the past. Now, because they are only 4mm rod, hanging onto this with a pair of pliers or a pair of tongs, it was just, really, really hard. So what I did is I modified a pair of tongs, and I want to share this modification with you and show you how it works to see if this is something that might benefit you in the future. Here's the pin I was given as a sample. He gave me a sample of the material as well to see if I could replicate this. And this is what I came up with. It's very close. It's a little bit longer, but he said a little bit longer would be okay. These are not really precision pieces by any stretch of the imagination, but they are extremely small, and I do need to move material around by first heating it with a torch and then using a hammer. Now, to give you an idea of how small these actually are, I'm going to drop a penny in the background here. So yeah, I need to hold on to these with tongs of some kind. So let me show you what I came up with for this. This is a pair of tongs that I made using the plasma cam. These are not traditionally forged. But I found myself in a situation where sometimes I just needed to make a pair of tongs really quick, and because I'm not proficient at it yet and I didn't want to spend a couple of hours on a pair of tongs, I made a few patterns up on the plasma cam, and this is what the pattern blank looks like for this particular kind of tong. You can see how that's put together there. I make this out of 3/8 and just weld on 3/8 round bar for the reins. And it served me pretty well. Now, I've heard people on YouTube say that, if you're not making tongs out of a certain thickness material, or you're not making them heavy duty, they're going to fall apart. And, like I said on YouTube, a lot of things are a matter of personal opinion. Now, these tongs, for example, these are the ones that I modified. These are made out of 1/4 inch thick material. And you'll notice that the jaws are offset from the reins. They're not squared off, they actually go off at an angle. And I don't know if you could see it, but you'll notice there's a hole in there as well. So let me show you what these were originally for, and I'll show you how I modified them. Here's one of the products I've been making. This is a stainless steel wire wrapped fork. I've been selling a lot of these at SCA events, Ren Fair type of things. Even people who do Revolutionary War reenactors, they like these because it's a period-looking fork, and because it's stainless, well, let's face it, it's dishwasher safe. Now, when I do a preform on these, this is what it looks like. I mean, it looks really, really gnarly. And I put it in the forge. I hammer all the twists flat. I define the tines on the fork, and it looks just a heck of a lot more period. And it looks like you put a little bit of time and energy and thought into making it too. Now, I made this little pair of tongs specifically to hold on to the wire. Now, this is 1/8 inch thick diameter stainless steel welding wire, and I get 2 forks out of every 36 inch piece. So I decided to make myself a pair of tongs, and these are very lightweight. They don't need to be heavy duty. I'm not doing a lot of manipulation of heavy materials. So make what's going to work for you. Don't have other people make you think that you have to use a certain thickness of material. These things, I wouldn't trade them for anything. They're very, they're well made for what I need. They're a time saver. And now I want to show you how I modified the jaws. These will still hold my forks, but these pins, these are 4mm, and the way I drilled that hole, when I open and close the jaws, you see how the hole doesn't line up because it's on an angle? Well, when I put this pin in here and I clamp it down, look what happens. It locks into place because it's offset And all metal has a little bit of a flex to it, whether it's a little bit of slop in the rivet or whatever, but this is not going to come undone. And it's really nice because all I have to do is sit there and hold it, and I can hammer my pieces out on it, and it's really, really great. But that's the modification, that little twist in the jaw and the hole. So what you do, belt sand this so they're completely smooth, put a center punch, and then drill into your pair of tongs. And that'll give you, because, I mean, I'm not making this up. These things, look how loose they are. You know, you put the peg in, and they lock. There's nothing holding it closed. I can bounce it up and down, and they work really well. But that is the secret, the offset jaw. So let me show you how they work. Alright YouTube, so what I'm doing, I had to make a special kind of a die. Well, it's actually more like a rivet header, but it's two pieces. I've got Allen screws in there so I can take this apart if a pin gets stuck inside while I'm peening the head over. I want to be able to get it out and reuse it. So here's the funny part, and if you've ever made nails before as a starting out smith, they tell you to make nails because you learn how to do the tapering down, and you learn how to do the heading, and making the heads on the nails is really challenging because you want the heads to be even. Well, the funny thing is, once I'm done, I want the pieces to look like this. And I just think it's hilarious that every time I ever screwed up a nail, I was really disappointed, and now I'm getting paid for doing exactly that. So, once I'm at this point, I put the pin inside of the tongs, and they're holding for me, so I don't need to do anything special. And I'm just going to come over here. I've got my torch set up, so it's completely hands-free. And I don't know, yes, it's in frame. I have a little piece of I-beam, or excuse me, not I-beam, channel iron, as a heat shield for my table. And I'm just using this chunk of random drop that I picked up at the scrapyard. I normally use this as a weight and to prop things up on my welding table, but I'm using this as my anvil today. So, all I need to do is come in here, heat this up. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to go from this, which is kind of a rounded off head, to something that's a little bit more rectangular. I don't know if you can see that with the camera. There we go. So that's the before and after. And without these tongs, it would be a real pain in the neck to do this step. Now, I need to make 30 of these, and the amount of money that I'm getting for this is actually more than I was going to ask. He made an offer of how many dollars per each one of these I'm going to make, and it just completely knocked my socks off. So I'm more than willing to make as many of these as he wants. So yeah, there's the Tong modification. I think it's really helpful. So take it for what it's worth, and if it's useful to you, you know, hey, all the better. Okay folks, so there you have it. Really simple modification on a pair of tongs that I already had to get this project done. And speaking of getting this project done, I really need to get back to it and get finished. I'm going to be dropping these parts off early Monday morning. It's already Sunday, and I want to at least have a little bit of time to enjoy a little of my Sunday afternoon, and I hope you're able to do the same. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next video. Until then, this is Jeff at Darkmoon Metals. I'll see you again soon.